Good evening and welcome on the spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. Tonight, my guest is the Lord Mayor of Kampala. My guest is also the new acting president of the Forum for Democratic Change. So tonight we'll be looking into the challenges facing FDC, but also the challenges facing Kampala as a city. As you all know, yesterday we were engulfed in the floods. So welcome to On the Spot. Mr. Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago, thank you so much for having honored our invite. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being hosted here. I thank you very much for this kind gesture.
You know, when we posted that we'll be hosting the Lord Mayor, there was an excitement online, and some people who called me because they wanted to hear your voice on two fronts, on the front of the forum, on the front of the Forum for Democratic Change, but also on the front of the city of Kampala. Let me begin.
I'm entirely in your hands now.
Let me begin with the Forum for Democratic Change, because the party, I'm sure that you love, the party that was built with the sweat, with the tears, and with the blood, is disintegrating because of greed. In fact,
because of greed?
Of greed. Because, let me say this. Your party has suffered a catastrophic implosion. It's gone, Mr. Lord Mayor. What you are going to lead is a phantom, is a mirage. It's not anywhere. How do you respond?
You've already made your judgment. Condemned the party, declared it defunct, dead, and actually awaiting burial.
That's the verdict
that's
in the court of public opinion.
My assessment. Well, maybe you could be right that the situation as it obtains right now in the FDC is dire, I must concede. I recognize the fact that there is a crisis, there is a stalemate, and we are struggling to address the same, definitely. But the party is not dead, I should say. And I'm quite confident we shall weather this kind of storm. It's not unprecedented. It has happened, and it's not something that has caught us by surprise. We knew, we foresaw it, and we have always struggled. All my years, by the way, all my political life, it's been the struggle. No wonder some are pointing now, choosing fingers against me. Of course, unjustifiably. But your analysis is a bit, I'm sorry to say this, but for lack of a better word, warped, in a sense that you have not diagonized the cause properly.
Okay, let me go step by step, Mr. Lord Mayor and Mr. Party President. You walked into the meeting yesterday, but one of the Forum for Democratic Change as a deputy party president.
Yes.
And then you imagined as acting president. You came out as acting president. How did that happen? And what is the legitimacy of this position that you hold?
How it happened, of course, it was within the public domain. There was a delegates conference that was called by none other than the party chairperson, the Ambassador Birigwa, who is duly mandated to do so under the party constitution. If you read the provisions of Article 23, Clause 5, and read it together with Clause 4 and Article 28, he enjoys absolute prerogative powers in situations like this to convene an extraordinary or special delegates conference to attend to a crisis afflicting the party. And you know, when you are dealing with a crisis, when you are dealing with a political environment of that nature, emergency situations, certain decisions have to be made to address a crisis. So that's how I emerged.
So the chairman, chairman who has the powers to call for a delegates conference cannot even speak with the Secretary General and the President of the party, and does that even make it legit?
It's a misrepresentation of facts. You are fed on lies. It's on record. The chairman wrote to the Secretary General, and indeed it was captured in your media here, both in print and media and electronic. You covered it, where the Secretary General denounced the meeting and made it categorically clear that they were not funding, that was not going to fund this delegates conference. I think that matter was within the papers and also in your news bulletin here on NTV.
So what do you make of the fact that the same party president and the same Secretary General, Mr. Lord Mayor, decided to go to court to seek a court injunction to stop?
Who? The Secretary?
The Secretary General and the party president, and that, if we can call them team manager, decided to go to court and stop the activity which brought you in as the acting president.
Who decided to go to court?
They went to court to stop.
Oh, well, they can explain better. I don't know what motivated them to go to court. I'm glad you take cognizance of that fact, much as they appeared on the side of the aisle, because they were actually on the side of the respondents, the defendants. Those that they were dragged to court by 3 petitioners whom you don't know. Actually, they have not even appeared anywhere on the screen. They have not even addressed a press conference. But ironically and paradoxically, it's the 2 individuals who were dragged to court and lost, the ones who are touting the court order, hyping it so much.
But are you aware that there was a court order stopping your delegates conference?
The order you are talking about, I don't know whether you have seen it. Actually, many of you are just talking about a court order, and you are purporting to interpret it, but you have not seen it.
Well, I haven't seen it, but, but the president of the party, the president of the party spoke to me in another platform, talking about having sought a court order stopping the delegates conference.
Ask any of them if they have served that court order on any of us. That it has been served on the chairman, and it was parted to the same.
Because the police that was deployed was actually deployed. The police that was deployed.
Have you gotten anybody on record?
The police that was deployed, Mr. Lord Mayor, was deployed to make sure it affects what the court is saying.
This is what I'm telling you. Do you put it in? I mean, do you enforce what you have not served? Ask the Honorable Nandala. Ask Power if they ever served that court order using any mechanism available under the law. Because the person you are seeking to enforce the order against, he's not a party to the proceedings. He appears before court through me as a lawyer, thrown out, and you don't know what happens next. They were obliged to extract that court order, serve it on the person of the chairman, if indeed he was bound by that court order. But he was not a party, and they never served him. So you wanted him to assume that there exists a court order somewhere? You wanted him just to assume?
Well,
does he operate like an angel?
I don't want to be decimated on your legal altar, because that is clearly your altar. But
yeah, but if you have a court order, serve it.
Well, what makes you think, Mr. Honorable Lukwago, that amid all these challenges, you're actually the right man to carry on the baton and maybe take FDC, if I may say, to the political promised land?
Yeah, I don't know where you are coming from with that question, because in the wisdom of the delegates that assembled at the delegates conference on Tuesday, I was the right choice.
Is that in the wisdom of the delegates or in the wisdom of Dr. Besigye?
Was it Dr. Besigye who took that decision, or it was
this question is coming from a certain background, from those who oppose you and those who oppose Dr. Besigye and FDC, who seem to suggest that Dr. Besigye, with all respect, he has failed to go beyond the fundamentality, and he's picked the Honorable Erias Lukwago as his blue-eyed boy to move forward.
Come again? That he has
Failed to go beyond, the founder mentality.
I've heard.
He still wants to linger around. That is what is on record having said to me, actually, Patrick Amuriat, Engineer Patrick Amuriat. He has said it to me.
That mantra being propagated from some circles.
He has told it to
not
me.
Transcended. He has said that?
Yes.
Himself?
Yes.
No.
Engineer Amuriat.
No. Oh, Engineer Amuriat.
Yes.
I thought Dr. Bessie.
No, of course not.
Okay. I am shocked that my brother, the Honorable Patrick Oboy Amuriat, can make such outlandish, outrageous statements against the person of Dr. Kizza Besigye. Very, very unfortunate. For all that Dr. Besigye has gone through in defense of power, against all sorts of malicious attacks since the days Paul was elected, all through, Dr. Besigye stood in defense of power until the recent developments. Honestly speaking, it would be very, very malicious on the part of my brother Paul. He's one person you can consider an ingrate. He is an ingrate of sorts, whereby a person who should appreciate the enormous contribution, the immense contribution Dr. Besigye has made towards the development of his career, in support of all the programs he has rolled out, everywhere, literally carrying him on his shoulders as his baby. You're not propping up somebody from nowhere. You carry him on his shoulders against all sorts of attacks, which he has resiliently shouldered, he has fought and whatnot. Then you have the audacity of spewing out such crap. Very, very unfortunate. I take exception of the statements made by my brother Paul, because Dr. Besigye took a decision cautious of whatever he was, he meant. 2012, that's when he resigned before the end of his term. And who succeeded him? How did Dr. Besigye interfere with the leadership of General Muntu at that time? Nandala has been Secretary General all through. How did Dr. Besigye interfere with the work of the Honorable Nandala? Actually, my brother General Muntu and team were aggrieved by Dr. Besigye's apparent endorsement. It wasn't even express endorsement of Nandala as a candidate against Muntu, Poa as a candidate against Muntu. Never mind that actually he did not come out at the time to aggressively campaign, but they complained about, for Poa he came out to aggressive. For Nandala, it was tacit. But for Poa, it was express. Now he faces those accusations. Now these two gentlemen, can you imagine?
So now, Honorable Lukwago, as acting president of FDC, you want to show the exit to Engineer Patrick Amuriat and Mr. Nandala.
Exit to where? No way.
To his party, the presidents of the party, to those party positions.
Well, he has...
You are aware the person you're moving out of the party position is actually the party president and the secretary general. And of course they have a big following and have those people...
They have had time to serve.
Yes.
They have managed to accomplish what they have accomplished. And there are things which must be addressed right now beyond their capacity now. There are programs which they cannot handle.
Do you appreciate the task that is before you to be able to glue the party together? I don't know whether you will also be holding your meetings very soon in Najanankumbi or you are persona non grata there, because it can be also very hard for you to access the party head office in Najanankumbi.
It doesn't matter. For us, we said like the...
You're a party in exile.
Like the parable, I know it's like the president of Somalia, who has always ruled from Kenya. But anyway, like the parable goes in the Bible that the church are the people. It's not the building. But obviously, we know how to handle that issue. Sooner than later, you will see developments taking place in the direction of taking possession of those premises. I've given an example. I mean, I've given something analogous to what has been happening elsewhere. That when you look at, for example, UPC, the building belonged to Milton Obote Foundation. And I think it was an uphill task on the part of the Walubiris, the late bosses, to secure possession. In the case of DP, the headquarters were at Stay Hall here, Stay House. Who owns the building? Sudhiru Pereira. For him, he recognized Mao as his tenant. And therefore, if you know, that landlord-tenant relationship was between Mao and Sudhiri. So what could you do about that? How do you take possession of property which does not belong to you? If that building did not belong to FDC.
DP was in that building. DP was in that building before the Mao presidency.
But he was always there. He was always there. And when Sebana left, he handed over to Mao and introduced him to Sudhiri as the new tenant. But anyway, the long and short of it is that the building did not belong to DP. So therefore, you wouldn't fight over that property. But you need to interrogate deep into the matters concerning those, the FDC headquarters at Najana Nkumbi. You'd ask my brother, the Honorable Nandala, Opoa, are they in possession of the title? Do they have it? Do they have control in any way of all the instruments relating to that property? Let me stop there as far as that property is concerned. So it may not be easy for them to hold on to possession of that property.
So we expect the Lukwago storming of Najana Nkumbi?
Forget about storming. That property will be legally secured by the party. It's not person to hold that it belongs to.
So where do you start, especially when you have a group that is opposed to you, of course with a big following, I suppose, and you have your own? And that is even before you start trying to secure Uganda, like you said.
Come again? I didn't capture that.
Where do you start when you have a group that is opposed to you with the party leaders that include Engineer Amuriat and Honorable Nandala Mafabi at the highest level of the party? They are opposed to you, and you have your group. The party is fractured. How do you move? How do you intend to move?
No, the good thing is that the rank and file, those are the owners of the party. For us, we are just leaders. We are the helm here. But down here, you have the owners. They are solid. Those ones are solid. And it's the reason the Nanda Power had to unleash terror on Tuesday to use, can you imagine they used a combined force of police, chief face, the military, to try to thwart all our efforts of having that meeting, but all in vain. Can you imagine? Isn't that evidence enough that actually there is something firm, solid behind this move, the party? Doesn't it convince you that indeed, actually, the team you are disparaging here, you are underestimating its capacity, has that charisma and stamina to withstand all those kind of threats you are talking about?
Something back on this show, Honorable Lukwago, if you remember, you said you actually know where the goons are. You know all these, you know, these groups. And the goons you're talking about,
yes.
The journalist saw them in Busabala.
Yes.
Who sent them in Busabala?
Of course, you know who sent them. Since the days they held the chairman of the party hostage. Remember that the day of infamy, when the chairman had to jump over the fence the perimeter wall, 2 days prior to the 28th July National Council sitting, where even some journalists were clobbered to almost a point of death, clobbered to pulp. There's some lady who was beaten badly, and she sustained serious injuries and ended up being hospitalized. Those are the goons who unleashed terror. So since then, the party headquarters have remained under siege. It has been turned into a garrison occupied by goons who are just awaiting deployment at any given moment. So this time, even when we went to court on Monday, by the way, and I don't know, I hope the Chief Justice or anybody, an administration of courts of law is watching this program. You need to investigate this matter. I got shocked. Going to appear before Justice Nambayo, and the whole place had been surrounded by goons everywhere. Right from the staircase, the entrance to the premises, you would be sniffing banji, miraa, chibaba, all through the corridors. Can you imagine?
But you
in the corridors of court, let me tell you this. It's a very serious matter. You are in the court premises, and they are there. Can you imagine?
You're making very serious allegations, you know that.
I'm telling you. I'm stating facts. There were over 150 goons there.
Smoking banji.
Smoking banji in the corridors of court. Here at 20 Plaza here.
But now, do you understand?
And the judge,
the people you're talking about are members of the Forum for Democratic Change, whom we are choosing for having brought these goons.
Those who brought them.
Yeah, but
yes.
but that is that the modus operandi of some of your colleagues in FDC?
This is the reason we are telling them whatever they are doing is not feasible. It's not sustainable. It's not tenable at all. You see, if you ascended the throne, and this is what really surprises me. Poa is one person I expected to appreciate better than anybody else, because he was propped up by the members of the party. He enjoyed that goodwill, honestly. If you follow the events leading up to his election at Nambori, he came as an underdog, and himself explained that he was a villager. Actually, everybody, majority, not everybody, many Ugandans were caught by, because the tallying went on deep in the night. There are those who woke up to the news that actually Poe had won and were shocked. Many thought it was a fait accompli that Muntu had won. But because of that support from the rank and file of the members of FDC, they supported him overwhelmingly. So he rose to fame by the will of the members of the party. And I thought he would appreciate and respect that. But now he wants to hold or cling on to the leadership of the party using goons.
So considering,
can you imagine that contradiction?
Considering all that has happened in your party, Forum for Democratic Change, the Honorable Erias Lukwago, why should Ugandans trust you with power when you cannot hold the party together?
The dynamics I told you right from the beginning, at the beginning of this show, the dynamics are at play. Explain what is happening today. So which institution is functioning normally? I'm telling you, it's only the magnitude that varies. But not even a single institution is stable in this country. The contradiction is, you see, of course, the scale, I've told you the magnitude. It could be grave now in DP and rather in the FDC. But the situation is everywhere like that, in all the institutions. Simply because we have a family rule, we have a gun rule, we have a dictatorship in place. In a situation where you have a regime which has been in power for close to 40 years, anything that can go wrong under such circumstances definitely is bound to happen.
I don't know why you're quick to blame the challenges and the weaknesses and the lack of leadership in your party on the ruling NRM. For heaven's sake, if you are choosing your leaders of having taken what you call dirty money, then they have put a price on themselves. The integrity, if the integrity is in question, that should not be an issue for you to blame it on the NRM.
This is what I've told you, and we have said this time and again, that what has happened, the Museveni politics, which is deeply entrenched within our body politic, is so deep-rooted that for one to be able to navigate that terrain, you must be having a thick skin. So those who have succumbed, of course, it is something that is regrettable. I don't know. But it is not surprising. I don't know
whether you are aware.
It's not surprising.
Honorable Lukwago, I don't know whether you are aware of a handwritten letter.
Wait a minute.
Purportedly coming from General Salim Saleh, who is saying that he's going to withdraw support from you.
I dragged the New Vision to court. Listen, I dragged the New Vision to court. And the matter is before that court, civil court, for hearing.
On this issue?
On that very issue. I wrote a notice of intention to sue every media house, including the NTV, including the NBS, for carrying that malicious propaganda. And I challenged you people to adduce evidence to that effect. So I'm waiting for the New Vision. I filed the 2 cases. They are there. The matter is going to be heard in October. And I want them to come and bring that evidence.
Okay, so you know that also the Honorable Patrick Amuriat and Nandala Mafabi could actually also go to court for maligning their names.
Listen. This matter we are talking about of the dirty money, it appeared internally, first and foremost, where they were all involved.
Yes.
And they don't deny the fact that they were distributing the money. Power conceded that he got 280 million. Dr. Besigye came out and gave a testimony that he was given a box of 300 million for custody. And he traced this money where it came from. The notes, the serial numbers, all coming from Bank of Uganda. And they indicated on this money that, you see, because when he started to dig in to get to understand the origin of this money, how could money come from Bank of Uganda, end up in the FDC hands, and then it is...
if you can
wait a minute, I wanted to conclude this.
Because there are things that are not adding up.
I just wanted to conclude this chain.
Okay.
The chain of evidence was that this money, that for you to access it or to get out of the coffers, the central bank, it is either State House or Bank of Uganda itself bringing it out to the public. Then they asked, where did this money, they tried to trace it. It occurred that actually it had come from State House. And this is the matter which was supposed to be investigated by the Committee of Elders. Instead, the Nabuiso Committee.
And the Nabuiso Committee came out with the report that exonerated
No. It didn't exonerate. Rather, they said the matter was never investigated. Actually, they said their mandate, listen, they said the terms of reference did not authorize them to investigate the money.
What was the Elders Committee meant to do?
Exactly.
What was it meant to do?
They were supposed to conduct more or less a forensic audit. What Dr. Besigye was explaining, tracing...
And that is what they did,
tracing
and they
the source of money.
Engineer Muriat.
Come again?
Forensic audit is what they did, and the report exonerates Engineer Muriat and company.
No. They are saying, actually, their mandate was to reconcile the Honorable Nandala and Power. rather Dr. Besigye, sorry.
So there was a misunderstanding of the terms of reference? Or what
Manipulation of the terms of reference, not a misunderstanding. It wasn't a misconstruction.
So you are accusing the entire elders committee, headed by Engineer Dr. Nabwiso, for manipulating the terms of reference?
Definitely.
Is that what you are doing?
This matter, no, for them, probably that's what they understood the mandate to be.
Yeah, but
the people,
that's what I'm saying. Are you saying they manipulated the terms of reference?
The SG and the party presidents are the ones who communicated the instructions to the committee with those terms of reference. Yet in NEC, where I sit, we had taken a different resolution. Ours was a probe. We asked them, we tasked them to conduct a probe. Not because there was nothing to. So on this money, there was nothing to reconcile Dr. Besigye and Nandala about. It wasn't there.
Before we take a break, this money was taken to Dr. Kizza Besigye, but somehow later the money was again exchanged into United States dollars. And
Dr. Besigye changing it to US dollars? No.
You know why? Do you know why it lost the value? Why it was less by 600?
No.
600,000.
No.
Yes, along the way.
He didn't say it was changed into dollars. He said what was given to him, because he wasn't also secure at home with that money.
To friend,
he deposited it somewhere. And the Nandala team started withdrawing it piecemeal in installments.
I don't know whether you have missed that, but there is a time when
that's what is even captured.
No, he also said that was changed into US dollars, and when they took it back, it was less by 600,000. And the explanation was because at that point the dollar had depreciated against the Uganda.
No. Even I'm telling you, even those figures could not add up. Those very figures we are talking about. 600,000.
It was missing by 600,000.
No, if you added the mathematics in whatever they tabulated, whatever they gave in that report, that figure wouldn't make sense to you.
So, but the question I want to know is whose decision was it to change it into dollars? Why do you change it into dollars? Why do you want to preserve the value of the money that you even know it's dirty?
Let me tell you this. You are making allegations against the person of Dr. Kizza Besigye in regards to that allegation, that assertion, that he ever attempted to convert that money into dollars.
No.
He did not.
No, he took it to somebody. That somebody converted the money.
He deposited it somewhere.
Where it was deposited?
Where it was deposited.
Somebody turned it into US dollars.
You mean the Nandalas withdrew this money in dollars? When they
wanted it back.
When they wanted it back.
When they wanted it back, it was in Uganda shillings, and so it was less by 600,000.
No.
Because of the exchange rate at the moment, at the time.
No, that's a lie. It's a lie. I'm telling you, it's a lie.
Honorable Erias Lukwago, hold on to your point, because we're going to take a break, and on the spot, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. My guest tonight is Honorable Erias Lukwago, Lord Mayor of Kampala and acting president of the Forum for Democratic Change. But I also know some people are still disputing that, especially those who are supporters of Engineer Patrick Amuriat and Nandala Mafabi. But I want to stay on the money. It is alleged that this money was delivered to Dr. Kizza Besigye at night during the lockdown of COVID-19. What on earth was he thinking to receive money in such large amounts at night at his home? Is that the kind of modus operandi that works in FDC? Does that even sound right?
Well, he explained. He also had his own doubts about it, but he exercised the benefit of doubt at that material time in favor of the Honorable Nandala, because he had given an explanation that URA was descending on him, that they had...
Here you have a man...
No, I had wanted to conclude
all right.
that URA had slammed on him a huge bill of tax, and they were about to freeze his accounts. So you want, and this was a campaign period, and he said, no, I want this money stashed away from the accounts, from the banks, so that it cannot be accessed by URA. That's the explanation he gave.
Yeah, but look, URA is a legal entity.
Transpired later that was a lie.
Yeah, but even what you're telling us, we are also suspicious, because URA is a legal entity mandated to levy taxes and get taxes from Ugandans. Why would that sounds very suspicious that a former leader, a former presidential candidate, almost in the middle of the night is accepting?
What are you insinuating?
No, because look, he should have.
Let me understand you. What are you insinuating?
No, I want to ask you. I'm not insinuating. I'm asking you a question. Doesn't it look even suspicious? It looks suspicious, the rest of that a leader of his stature is accepting 300 million shillings in the dead of the night at his home from somebody who's running away from URA? That sounds mafioso.
So if one tells you that money was being preserved for purposes of facilitating agents who are going to protect the vote, and URA was running after the same, and this is a person you have worked with for a long time, you have no reason to doubt his statement at that time. Put yourself in the shoes of Dr. Besigye. Would he have told him, please leave it on the account so that it is grabbed by URA? And then tomorrow he's accused of now one or the other actually not helping the party president. So what would he do?
So are you suggesting that
let me ask you, what would a reasonable person do under those circumstances? If you were Dr. Kizza Besigye, I need to understand you. Because
money is delivered to you at night during a COVID-19 lockdown, serious COVID-19 lockdown. Nobody's moving. You are the person who's driving is actually not one of the essentials. And 300 million, that alone.
From his explanation, from the testimony, Dr. Besigye has repeatedly given.
Yeah, because the testimony that you are running away.
Those issues weighed so much on his mind. But of course, there were other comparing factors that swayed him to say, okay, fine, let me take charge of this money as I conduct further inquiries.
URA is not an illegal entity. URA is not a mafia. URA is mandated to collect taxes. If he was in the business of doing legit business, he shouldn't be running away from URA.
But if it was, for example, unjustified tax, and more or less like a witch hunt, because it can always happen in politics. If they want to cripple you politically, they can impose illegal taxes on you. By the time you get over it through litigation in the courts, and given the fact that it was an election period,
so that
finished.
So what happened was
those
somehow normal.
Factors were put into consideration.
So what happened was somehow normal within the parameters of FDC.
No, within the parameters. No, considering the prevailing political environment, there are things that you can do outside the conventional ways of handling process. I mean, money like that. There are some unconventional decisions, unorthodox things that you can do to advance the struggle, given the regime we are dealing with. That could be justified. But the fact that he refused to disclose the source, I think that was so far, to the extent that Nandala insisted that actually the Dr. Besigye himself did not or would not disclose to them where he would get the money when he was still a presidential candidate or a president of the party. So can you imagine, even if it were to remain classified, because certain situations may warrant that you do not disclose certain, there are sources that may require that please don't reveal my name. But President
Yoweri Museveni was in the middle of a general election, more or less like a war. He's arming his enemy to shoot him.
If indeed they were enemies. If indeed they were enemies.
So if FDC was not in this election for winning.
It's like this case you are talking about which was before Justice Esther Nambayo. Those who petitioned Weren't they funded by Nandala? You mean Nandala funded the enemies? No. He funded them for a purpose. Go file a case. I come as a defendant. I concede. I pretend that actually I'm here to defend, but I concede. Willingly, I say, okay, I actually, after now a consent is made, you celebrate, I'm defeated. So that's what is happening. So your question is neither, I mean, your insinuation is neither here nor there.
So moving forward, ultimately, that money was used to do what?
You asked the Honorable Nandala. Good enough, Dr. Besigye explained, it was taken back. And indeed, Honorable Nandala also is on record saying, yes, they got it back. The only difference you are talking about is only 600,000. But would you believe that Dr. Besigye would retain 600,000? 100,000, 200,000, 600,000? Out of 300 million? That he retained the 600,000?
No, that was not even my question. My question is why it had to be converted to dollars? Why was somebody bothering to keep the value of the money that was considered even dirty?
Why would one?
For me, that's what I wanted to know.
Or why he decided to keep it? If
convert it into dollars to preserve the value.
This is what I'm saying.
Of the money that was considered dirty.
You're making unfounded allegations against Dr. He didn't say it was you converted it to a dollar.
No, not him, but the person who was entrusted to keep it. Either received an order, not Dr. Besigye, but where it was.
Where he deposited it is where actually Nandala would send the accounting office of the institute. No, not the accounting officer, the accounts clerk kind of, to pick it.
So you're saying
he wasn't involved in those transactions. They said, okay, we shall take it in bits, piecemeal. They said, okay, fine, do that. But already he had captured the particulars of the money. These particulars were presented to the committee, the serial numbers, everything. They were presented to the Nabuso committee.
So you never gave the party presidential candidate support during the elections. In fact, he even says you and Dr. Besigye and others. How do you expect, moving forward, in case you want to run for the presidency or any leadership, that you're going to get the support of the entire, FDC leadership and the followers from Masabaland to Tesoland and other places, when you could not stand up and be counted and support your own presidential candidate in representing your party?
Luckily enough, our central focus right now is not about elections. That's the beauty with our mission, agenda. And we made it very clear on Tuesday. If you listen to the statement Dr. Besigye issued, and what we have always said, ours is about advancing the struggle. Actually, right now, our agenda is to reposition the FDC to the battlefront, to first and foremost, to restore its glory, which is battered right now, which is it's been waning, but now we want to reinvigorate it. Also, the spirit of the members. It had been dampened by what has been happening. When you get a train off the rail, definitely those on track or those on the wagon, they develop that kind of despondence because they don't know the direction you are taking. So we are saying we are getting the train back, the wagons back on the rail. We continue with the journey to the promised land. So basically, we are fighting to restore people's sovereign authority, which has been captured by Kaguta Museveni and his family. It is General Museveni with his brother Saleh, with his son Muhoozi, with his wife, with his in-laws, who are calling shots. So definitely, one has to focus all their energies, if you are justified, against that.
You really want to blame the alleged lack of integrity from the leaders of FDC on President Yoweri Museveni?
The lack of integrity?
Yes.
Honestly speaking,
you really want to blame that on the president?
You see,
for somebody who has put a price on himself?
You see, this
because we expect better
there is
from
this thing, this phenomenon which has really baffled me to the hilt. It has really baffled me. The way you people tend to exonerate Museveni.
No, I'm not.
No.
This is not the issue.
By saying now you heap the blame entirely on those who are gullible, those who have succumbed to his politics of patronage and maneuver. Yes, they're equally to.
So this money was shoved down their throat.
But let me tell you, if it's a matter of moral turpitude, you get somebody who digs his hand in the central coffers, pokes out,
and gives the FDC president.
He forks out your money and hands it over to some people.
And not some people, to the president of the party.
Okay, to the president of the party.
And that president of the party gladly accepts.
Before I even come to him, of course I have to blame him.
He has been so critical of the corrupt tendencies of the same regime before the public.
Him. But the way you people are shielding Mr. Museveni, because let me tell you this.
By the way, this is not even shielding the president.
You're shielding
I'm questioning
him.
the integrity.
No.
I'm questioning the integrity of the party leaders.
No. You see, I even wondered, I said, yes, the other day, actually I think it was yesterday, when the IGG, the Honorable Betkame, presented the report to Parliament and indicated the agencies ranking higher in corruption. Of course, Kampala is part of the KCC, is one of them, State House and others. But I was asking this lady, why are you not pointing out those names in State House that have stolen the money? Why are you just giving an omnibus statement? Point out to the individuals. In Kampala here, the moment you blame KCC, and for us we have pointed out quite a number of these individuals. In all these shady deals, even the, you know, the genesis of the where the Chofatogabies came up, those allegations you were talking about against me, involving colossal sums of money, and he was caught on camera. Chofatogabi was caught on camera, purporting to write those cheats himself like this, like this, like this. But the genesis of this, they were spending 350 billion on purchase of land in Chisenyi, that they are shifting the street vendors there. They had obscenely inflated the unit cost of a road in Kampala. This money we are talking about, the ADB money. Because right now, we started on a point where you're complaining about floods, the broken down infrastructure and so on and so forth. But we have pointed out all this. I've told you, these people are siphoning off the money. We have borrowed the colossal sums of money from World Bank to fix drainage systems here. Colossal sums of money to fix the infrastructure here in Kampala. The names of the people who are there. We have taken complaints to Parliament. The reports are not coming out from the infrastructure committee. We have taken complaints to the IGG. You ask here, where are those names of the individuals who are involved? Now, why I'm bringing up these issues? Instead of joining us in that crusade, in that struggle, one, you are focusing on the malicious propaganda leveled against us, the whistleblowers. That is one. But I would stomach that because I know those are occupational hazards as a politician. You know, no, as a politician, that's about to happen. But no, don't mind about that. And I'm not bothered. That's not the issue. But what bothers me is for you not to be intrigued, to get interested in the facts we are putting on table. That, look, Mr. Museveni is siphoning off your resources from the coffers, splashing around money like no man's business. And you are asking, why? Hey, you are not even pointing at him. For us, we have taken action against our own who are involved in this. And it is the reason we are ready to bear the brunt of it. We are determined. I'm ready. I'm telling you, we are ready.
So if money is dangled before you, Honorable Lukwago, and you accept it, we should
of course, President be culpable.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
That your leaders in FDC are culpable.
And this is the reason we are taking action. This is the reason we are taking action against them.
And if money is dangled before you and you eat it,
yes,
from President Yoweri Museveni,
yes,
shouldn't I blame you?
No, you are justified in blaming me.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing with FDC leaders.
Let me tell you, this is what I'm telling you.
By the way, this
is for me, the strategy would be, you get sticks, you get two rods, two sticks. want to hit at those who are receiving it. If it is dangled before me,
yes,
you hit at me. But the biggest stick, the biggest one, that one should be against Museveni and his family. You have to hit at Museveni, you have to hit at General Saleh, you have to hit at Mhozi, you have to hit at the wife, you have to even their cronies.
Are the guys who are swallowing, they shouldn't?
No, you hit at them as well.
This is what I'm doing.
Exactly.
This is what I'm
you
doing.
hit at them.
This is what I'm doing, and you don't want to accept that.
Is that the position I've given? Would I even be moving against the poor and the Nandala? Would you expect, Dr. Besigye have come out with all the attacks now being leveled against him, the accusations? He's being rolled in the mud. If you witnessed what happened at Najjanankumbi today, he was a subject of assassination, character assassination. You know, mauling somebody in the mud like this. That's what exactly the Nandalas and Paul were doing today at Najjanankumbi. Why would he suffer that? Why would he accept to suffer that brand if he was tolerating and covering up this? And the reason, by the way, personally, I've been turned into a punching bag in all these matters, because they also attacked me. They said, actually, I'm an agent of confusion. That's what they were saying. That I was an agent of confusion in DP. Now I'm an agent of confusion. I'm a mercenary. Now, listen to this. Mm-hmm. Listen to this.
Yes.
Why would I also accept to be attacked like this? Why? If we were tolerating that kind of transgression, the transgression you're talking about. We're not tolerating it, we're fighting it. You get it? But now I'm being turned into a punching bag. And I was asking my brother, Paul, my good friend Paul, if you make such a statement, I don't know whether he had to think through the implications. He would be actually justifying the decision of Mao going into bed with him, Mr. Museveni, cementing the marriage they have consummated. Actually, they consummated it in Gulu recently at an unofficial function presided over by General Saleh. It was presided over by General Saleh in Gulu. And Mao had no qualms turning the guns against me. Now Mao turning the guns against me, calling me all sorts of names, Power comes out to justify the actions I was taking against Mao. That you see, you man, you even fought Mao. But the reason I was fighting Mao is on the wall. Even a reasonable person would see that. A sane person would see that. The reason I was fighting Mao. Now it is the same reason I wouldn't sit, I'm telling you, no matter the attacks, no matter the attempts to character assassinate me, no matter all the whatever they are doing, the determination is beyond what you can imagine. It's solid.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, Honorable Erias Lukwago, and when we come back, I also want to look at the issues of the city. What we went through yesterday was chaotic, was mayhem. You know, the city flooded, and we have been told by the meteorological authority we're likely to have 4 more months of rains. So it appears a lot of challenges, a lot of problems are waiting us ahead. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight is the Lord Mayor of Kampala and acting party president of the Forum for Democratic Change. You know, just before we even switch gears into matters of Kampala, maybe one more. There was such a big allegation back in the day of the Honorable leveled against the Honorable General Muntu that he was a mole in FDC. Of course, the senior leaders like yourself probably are not on record for having said that, but others said. So do you get, and now the real mole, according to the allegations, have been found. What's an exoneration of a man? Because he said, you know what, the real mole will be seen. At least you remember that statement.
I remember very well. And I think he said it at
How prophetic
Fairway Hotel. At a point when he was handing over the report. He was truly a gentleman. You see, one thing I would respect General Muntu for, he was an incumbent who organized an election where he was defeated, and he never made any attempt to cheat that election or to lock out anyone who was competing against him, and he honorably handed over the leadership, the mantle. Maybe you could be having reservations as the decision he took subsequent to that election. Maybe that is debatable.
But is it?
But
still,
I will leave to respect him.
Is it still debatable now, considering what is happening?
It is debatable. Okay. There are factors that can compel one to take a decision, and from your standpoint, probably it could be questionable, but that is a decision he took, and I would respect him for that. He left the party intact. He said, okay, this is what I'm, okay, if that is it, the delegates have taken a decision, I'll not use face goons to lock out anyone from the party. But can you imagine right now, if Dr. Besigye showed up at Najana Nkumbi, I doubt that he will come back alive. Those banji smoking goons, rascals, hoodlums, thugs who have taken over the party there would maul him. They will,
but I hope you understand that
him.
Najana Nkumbi is another part of FDC.
But you see, this is what I'm telling you, Dr. Besigye. Can you imagine? And in one meeting, I asked Power. Honestly, I appealed to him. I said, I want to appeal to that innermost heart. I want to ask you, Power, to find it within your innermost heart and soul to reflect on what is going to happen if you took that direction you are taking. Declaring Dr. Besigye persona non grata, turning Dr. Besigye into a punching bag in all the campaigns they were making. By the way, in all the review campaigns they were making subsequent to the 2021 elections, countrywide, Dr. Besigye was the subject of this discussion, was a punching bag. They heaped all the blame because Power got 3%, but everything was heaped on him. And remember that time he had not come out to tell the world what had happened about the dirty money. Until November, late November 2022, last year, at a National Council conference here at the party headquarters, when he said, now I've gotten an opportunity to address the delegates, please, yes, there's this systematic campaign, malicious campaign that has been going on against me all through. Now is the time for me to tell my side of the story. And that's what informed the decision of members of National Council to take that, okay, to establish the Nabuiso Committee. But let me say one thing again, the very final one, about the constitution of the party. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Power. Because now they are saying the problem is Lukwago. Can you imagine the volleys they have launched against Virigwa? Can you imagine this? Do you know the person, ambassador, is a typical diplomat? A typical diplomat. You've seen even in tense-up moments.
Well, I don't know now anymore because I saw him scaling the wall. I saw him scaling the wall in Najana Nkumbi.
Let me tell you.
I've seen him again scaling the wall.
Do you know what happened in Najana Nkumbi?
How about Katonga?
Can you imagine after that incident at Najana Nkumbi? It had happened 2 days before the National Council meeting. Then he came in to address the National Council. Amidst that kind of tension, because there was tension gripping the entire premises there, because there were goons, there were police, there were what? I'm summing it up. But even when they were singing the national anthem, I want you to bring that.
I have some people who have been on the line waiting, want to engage you, or maybe you engage me or ask a question. I have a call online. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Kamara.
Yes, sir. What's your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
I am calling calling from Bali.
All right, go right ahead, sir.
Yes. We are very sorry about the in the party. But of course, the point is very clear. If the gentleman in the name, by the name is Honorable Nandala Mafabi, got some money, delivered it to Dr. Kiza Vestige, and the gentleman is at the honor and told the party organ that I've received the money which is having no root. Why are we even wasting time? It means Nandala must have received the money from somewhere and wanted to join this in his illegal activities of receiving money from unknown sources. Now, for us who are subscribers in the party and the members of it, we shall not allow this man to have a parallel delegates conference in Najanamkumbi and try to separate the party. Let's have a unity that involves BSJ and other party members having to sit down and we unite as we go on with the party objectives and the goals, because the party has the constitution. Now, the suspension of Nandala Mafabi and Amria from Katonga recently is actually genuine, because these people misbehave.
So let me, if I may,
to respect the nominations that have gone on.
My brother, if
waiting for the party organisms to be set out, and we shall follow the decisions that will come from the party organism, not just Nandala.
If you can pause there before you go offline, my brother. Are you still online?
Yeah, I'm still online.
So how has the suspension of the Honorable Nandala Mafabi and Engineer Patrick Kamuriat been received in Eastern Uganda, and specifically where you are?
Of course, where I am.
In Mbale.
People like in the Bugis region are excited because of a mention that Nandala intends to contest for president. Given the fact that this region has never received any news about somebody contesting for president. Now, people are excited, but that does not mean that Nandala has captured the whole of the region. The news of suspension still remains, like in the Bugizo region. We are so many of us. We are actually okay with it because he has brought this organization in the party.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much. But those are your words, and I just wanted to hear what you perceive or what your perception is from your own. Yeah, because it may not be true. Let me also take another call.
He has relayed the message from the mountains, yes.
You know, I provoked him to say that. I have another call online. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good evening. What's your name?
I'm fine, sir.
What's your name?
I'm Robert from Kasese.
Robert, you're in Kasese?
Yes, the West.
Okay, Kutri Mushakur. Okay, okay, go right ahead, sir.
So, Katandika wali mabega olonabikira. Mutivina chaffe gitengwa ngakyaliwo. Netugenda mu kulonda okwamama omuntu n'ekisije. Netubeera okutena nama ebyo yakiseewo ebiki. Ebiseera ebyo tutwenawo anesizi well separated. Ngaliwo as a legal position mu pale. Waliwo akatakalanyo mu biseera ebyo ng'ozikiramu ezo Lord Mayor ngakyali independent Kampala. Waliwo okudde eno n'eno kati swala zino wetuli waawo.
Okay.
Especially wano Kasese, twali abasooka kulinga ekibiina kwesonye. Naye kati ennaku zino twebuuza tuddewa? Tudde mu nuupu tuddewa?
That's the question. Okay, Robert, Robert, are you hearing me? Robert? Okay, Robert, what's in Jamushakur? I wish he had said it in Lukonja, I would have put it better, but you understand Luganda more than I do.
Yeah,
so
sure. His message was loud and clear.
Yes, I have another caller. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good evening. What's your name?
Good evening.
What's your... I'm sorry, sir?
This is from Hello?
Yes, your line, I'm afraid to say, your line is not very clear. Could you say your name again?
Condition says I'm calling from Toronto.
From Tororo?
No.
Or, okay. No, you.
I'm saying from Toronto.
Yeah, the problem with you is that you have left your TV on and the volume is on, so it's bringing an echo. So we can't have a conversation with you, sir, because of that. Thank you. All right. It looks like, let me just take one more caller. Hello, I have another caller line. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
What's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Duncan, calling in from Arua.
Okay, go right ahead, my caller from Arua.
Thank you for bringing the Lord Mayor right from the city office to the studio of NTV.
You're welcome.
So I just have only one question for the Lord Mayor. First of all, I want to commend for the marvelous work he's carrying out in the city hall. But what you bringing in for the floods that are taking place in the city. But I want you to be sincere and lenient with him. The city has executive director, it has ministers, it has RNCs, it has whatsoever, it has DPC. And you're putting the blame on the Lord Mayor.
With one Lord Mayor, sir. because he's my Lord. Because he's my Lord Mayor too.
Please have some peace with the Lord Mayor.
Big up.
And Lord Mayor,
Thank you.
All right.
what is your plan? How are you going to separate the youth into the politics of this country? We want to have educated men like you. Thank you very much. Thank
you, our caller from Arua. I put some of these questions to the Honorable Erias Lukwago because he's my Lord Mayor too. And I'm sure my producer is saying I can take one more caller, but I thought we had closed that. We have a call online. Hello.
Yes, hello. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name, sir?
My name is Peter and I'm calling from Kumi.
Peter in Kumi.
Yes, and this is where Muriat comes from.
Okay, and at the home base of the Honorable Engineer Muriat.
Exactly. First of all,
At Kanyum. Are you from Kanyum?
I am from Kumi Municipality.
Okay, go right ahead, sir, Peter.
So I want to thank you for bringing the Lord Mayor and thank you for the show. But I'm going to be very objective here. And I want to really commend my brother, the Lord Mayor Lukwago, that it's not about smearing cooking oil on the face of Ugandans, and you don't want us to look good in the face of Ugandans. There is a problem within the FDC, and the problem should be solved. This thing of running, pointing fingers from Riyadh to Nandala, I just had a caller from Mbale. In eastern Uganda, people have personal differences, and they are transferring this including to the party. And this is what we are seeing in FDC. Amriat as a person, Lukwago as a person may not be the problem, but there is a hidden problem. I was working in NPS and I sit also here. And the other side, Dr. Matende said, actually, the problem was there before. Just as it says, the problem is there. It is not about people bringing their personal differences to kill the party. I like the question you asked the gentleman from Mbale. How are the Easterners receiving? They are actually receiving this information as tribalism. Because if you look at the whole system, if you look at the way Temujunganda brings his argument, it's not the way Lord Mayor is bringing. You really see it is levied on tribal sentiment.
All right.
So I want to challenge, even after the assignment in Katonga, it's going to be very difficult for Lord Mayor to come and penetrate the Bugis or Central region. And you cannot tell any person that Amriat is a problem.
All right.
Because that is their stand.
Peter,
at that point is their stand. The same to Bugis region. So I would love that for issues of bringing development in Uganda, can we handle issues? All of us are earning money from the NRM government, including the Lord Mayor. So questioning where the source of money comes from, the issue is how are we spending the money from whichever source? Thank you.
Peter Yalamanoinoi. Thank you so much, Peter from Kumi. Please, I understand very many of you would want to engage the Lord Mayor, but the time is over. And now, unfortunately, we're not going to get into the issue of Kampala City, because now the issues of FDC have taken over. But we'll have to come back. We request that to address the matters of Kampala at some point, so that we can have a better, more time and good
But a quick response to that.
justice.
Just
So,
a quick
yeah, I want you to respond to
Oh,
some of the
wonderful.
things.
I
And then
thank
as we
the
conclude.
callers.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I don't have enough time to respond to each and
Yeah, for sure.
every caller. But
Some of them were comments and
yes,
one question.
wonderful. I commend them for that. They observe. But the last caller from Kumi municipality said we should.
Peter.
Yeah, I wish the same message would be passed on to my brother, my good friend, the Honorable Power Nandala and Nandala, that Dr. Besigye is not a problem to the party. Because now they are singling out Dr. Besigye, they are singling out Lukwago. Because they are saying Lukwago that I was the trouble causer in DP. Yet Norbert Mao has signed an agreement with NRM. He has cemented that relationship. Now, can't you diagnose there and see the problem, where it comes from?
Okay.
Now, yes, I can see you also infected. But yes, you were infected by this.
I haven't solved anything.
You have sort of, because you started on note that Dr. Besigye has failed to outgrow.
I was actually giving you a reported speech on the Honorable Engineer Muriat, whom I hosted on Monday on my show, and that is the statement on Tuesday, and that's the statement he made. And I wanted to get your reaction. Okay, go right ahead.
Oh, wonderful. But they are, I don't know whether they are honest about what they are saying about Dr. Kizza Besigye. I don't know. And I wish the gentleman could also tell these colleagues of ours what they have always done against Dr. Besigye was quite detrimental to the party. To go meet the delegates countrywide, heaping all the blame for the loss of the election in 2021 onto Dr. Besigye. All through, because it was an evaluation of the 2021 election. And they singled out Dr. Kizza Besigye.
Okay.
So if he came out to say, please.
I think that point has been made.
Exactly. And the final one, violation of the party constitution. You know, that document is sacrosanct. I wish you would make a call to them to respect the sanctity. The chairman of the party is the one enjoying to call a delegates conference. Under Article 23 of the Constitution, it is the clause 3. It is the mandate of the delegates conference to elect members of the National Executive Committee. And under Article 28, it is the chairman to convene it and preside over the same. Now, Paul and Nandala have assigned that duty to Toterebuka Bamwenda, that is calling a delegates conference on 6th of October to conduct elections.
Okay.
What is left of the party constitution? And it is this document that binds us together. It's an embodiment of our values, our vision. It's the embodiment. If you wanted to get the vision of the party,
it is the Constitution.
It's the Constitution.
All right.
The values of the party,
I want to
the
thank you so
Constitution.
much.
The rules and regulations, it is the party Constitution. Now you desecrate it with impunity, with reckless abandon. And then you don't see the problem there?
You found yourself acting president of the party on Tuesday by circumstances, but are you...
Not by circumstances, no.
You chose to do that?
No. It was a deliberate decision to address a crisis. You get it? So if it is a deliberate decision of the delegates, it can't be a decision by...
So are you also going to be now running for the party president when time comes?
We have told you our agenda is not about elections now. Listen, it's about bringing the party back to realign it to its original mission.
Do you have an ambition to run for president?
Come on, I've answered you. In 2025, in 2026, beyond when, let me tell you, just like you yourself, any other Ugandan who has the qualifications, you'd be harboring those ambitions. But the question is, under the circumstances, the house is on fire. FDC is on fire. The country, Uganda, is on fire. And for you are there saying, I'm gearing up for presidency. No. Even the assignment given to me, by the way, don't congratulate me. It's a duty. He's going to the battlefront to take on the bull by the horns.
I want to thank you so much. What's going to be your parting shot, very briefly?
Oof. We've not talked about Kampala.
We haven't, because of time.
Because of time. Well, my call, Ugandans. More specifically, let me start with FDC members. We are at crossroads. And this ambivalence I've seen, people wondering what they should be doing under the circumstances, is not going to help matters. We have done our part, furnishing you with all the information you require to take decisions. It's a clarion call on your part. The reason FDC was formed is to offer a platform for forces of change to coalesce behind a particular cause, Forum for Democratic Change. Are we on course? Are you satisfied with what is going on? If not, rally behind the cause we are championing. For Ugandans, it's not about FDC that we are at each other's neck and you're just watching a film. It's a microcosm of what is happening. What is now in FDC is a manifestation of a deep-seated problem we have in the country. And don't laugh at us. Colleagues in all other formations, this is not a matter to laugh at us or to also accuse us. Because right now, just a quick one. When, when my name was being proposed, the accusation initially was that Dr. Besigye is bringing Lukwago to, no, Dr. Besigye and Lukwago are taking the FDC to Nope. You get it? That they have brought Lukwago to be at the helm of FDC to take FDC to Nope. Then you get some people from other formations. They are saying now we are seeing FDC is propping up Lukwago to become a presidential candidate to take on Kyagulanyi. You can imagine these kinds of conspiracy theories. They are not going to help. They are not going to help. Whether you are in NUP, you are in you are a progressive DP, you are a progressive UPC, you are a progressive NRM. Article 3 commands us to come together, take action to restore the sovereignty of this country to the people.
Honorable Erias Lukwago, Lord Mayor and Acting President of the Forum for Democratic Change, I want to thank you so much for the time you've given us, for the value you have added on our platform, for the explanation you've given from your vantage point. I want to thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
And for you who has been watching this program, I want to thank you for the privilege of your company. We know that the opposition parties are needed in a country like ours, because you can not have a democracy without opposition, because the opposition will keep the powers at be in check, but also they could become the alternative government in appropriate time, because we deserve that as a country, don't we? Good night and God bless Uganda.